Hey everybody, Sinister Lex here. We are back for another fun-filled video. This one's going to be about Upwork and the, what do they call it? The Upwork Freelancers 2017 predictions. Freelancing in America 2017. So Upwork just came out with this a few hours ago. It's a study they published about the freelance market. They publish it once a year from what I can tell. I think they've been doing it since 2014. They publish stats on where the freelance market is, where it is going, and predictions for what they think is going to happen in that market. So I wanted to bring some of these to your attention since I get all these emails and they're kind of interesting. I'll put the link in the description below if you want to read the original article. Just drop down to the bottom of the page or whatever, the video description. Also, I do want to let you know I first posted about this in our private chat server at the Discord link that is also in the description. So if you want to join me in chat, talk to me anytime, day or night, depending on the time of night, then go down there and join our free chat. Okay? It's free. Just do it. I'm really in there. Like, I'm legit in there all the time. So, talking about this is specifically regarding the US market. I know a lot of you are not in the US, but I'm sure that this will probably ring true for many of you. I don't know, the US workforce is a strange beast. It's getting pretty crazy. But we've got a press release from Upwork here saying freelance workforce growth is accelerating. It's outpaced overall US workforce growth by 3 times since 2014. So that means freelance is growing much faster. It says work is rapidly changing. FIA finds due to the impacts of automation and freelancers are better equipped for the future due to more frequent reskilling. So the bottom line here that they're getting at is freelancing is growing really quickly because people are looking for new ways to create side income. You've got, of course, people like me who are teaching freelancers on entrepreneur forums and other places. I've even done it locally because it just makes sense. When you look at local groups, you look at like Facebook, look at your local Facebook jobs group. You got all these people out there who are looking for work. They can't find work. They can't get work any other way. They're not sure what they're doing wrong. Their resumes aren't good enough. They don't have the education. They don't have the skills. They don't have a degree, whatever that they need to get the jobs, that are more than minimum wage. They're not finding, they don't have those, or they're not able to find those jobs for whatever reason. Anyway, enter something like Upwork, freelancing. Now all of a sudden you've got a market where if you can write, if you can make a design, if you can make music, you have a way to make money. So clearly this is going to grow. Now I didn't look too deeply into these, so I don't know the full specifics of everything that they've measured. Are they just measuring how many people they have on the platform? How are they pulling this? I need to get into the actual results and look more deeply. Maybe I'll do that later and we can talk about that in the chat. But I'm just going to read some of the notable findings here. We're going to go over those real quick and maybe talk about those, see where the market is headed. So again, this is for the US market. We've got the most notable findings, and hopefully I'll have this on the screen for you. First one is freelancers are better prepared for the future. As work changes, 54% of the US workforce said they are not confident that the work they do will exist in 20 years. Reskilling is therefore critical. 55% of freelancers participated in skill-related education in the last 6 months versus only 30% of non-freelancers. So not only is it saying that we're reskilling, we're looking for ways to make money that are different from traditional routes, ways that are giving us a lift up. We're also educating ourselves. Freelancers are educating themselves, and that's why they're going to be better prepared for the future when that time gets here, because other people in these traditional jobs, they don't have to do that. When you've got a job and you think you're comfy, you don't have to educate yourself. You don't have to learn more. You don't have to push yourself to do more. Well, freelancers do, and we constantly have to test and adjust and get smarter and learn and find new ways to create value for ourselves and for clients, or else we're not going to get hired. That's the reality of freelance. Second one here, they've got the majority of the US workforce will soon freelance. At its current growth rate, we will reach this milestone by 2027. So we're talking about a 10-year time frame here. And I think that should be really, really important for you. If you are someone who wants to get into freelancing, if you're thinking about it, even if you just started, I want you to consider this. The freelance workforce, there's going to be a lot of new companies entering the freelance market. There are also going to be new freelance platforms popping up. These are guaranteed certainties. But let's just look at this from an Upwork perspective. Say 10 years has passed, it's 2027. Now we've got a vast majority, 53% let's see, up 10 points from 53%. So 63%. Wait. Well, we're just saying it's going to be a flood, I guess. It's going to be a flood of people in the freelance market, as if it isn't already. I mean, we got a lot of millennials in here, but just imagine everybody is going to be freelancing in 10 years. Not to say, don't misconstrue my words. I'm not saying that every business is going to go out of business or that there's not going to be any traditional jobs left, but in 10 years, there's going to be a lot of automation, a lot of different automation from where we are now. And if you're starting out in 10 years, it's going to be much more difficult to get hired, just like it is for traditional jobs right now. So you look at people who are just entering the job force right now, what kind of jobs they have to go through. They have to go to McDonald's, they have to go to, Dollar General or Walmart, or find these low-level entry jobs to get started if they don't have education. And even if they do have a degree, that doesn't guarantee that they're going to get in at these other places and start making more money immediately. That's not the way it works. The way it works is people get hired when they like you. People get hired when they prove that they are able to help the business or do something specific a business needs. That's the traditional workforce. When we talk about freelancing, it's a lot of the same thing. So imagine you start today, and over the next 10 years, you're building all this social proof, credibility, clients you've worked for. I mean, when I look at my profile right now, starting this year, I had $1,000 by the end of January in my profile, and Upwork shows that money. They show the amounts you've earned. Right now, I started back up a month or so ago. Right now, my profile is showing $4,000. It's about to hit $6,000 earned, and that's just this year. And let's just say I was going balls to the walls, brought all my clients in here. I start working only through Upwork. This amount is growing and growing and growing. This number is showing for a long time. Who knows how long it'll be there? Maybe it'll be there forever, maybe it won't. It doesn't matter. The point is, 10 years from now, I'll easily have over 100,000 earned on Upwork if I were to go that route. I'll probably have more than 1 million earned. I mean, there's several people with millions earned on Upwork as it stands right now. So who are they going to hire? Are they going to hire the freelancer who has made millions, who's made hundreds of thousands, or are they going to hire the fresh meat person who just started yesterday when it's 2027? I don't know. When companies have that much choice, just like with anything, they choose who they want. They choose specialists in their niche. They choose people who stand out for some reason. Maybe being that they are an expert in that industry or niche, or they have some specialized skill. But they're also going to be looking at things like, do they like you? Do you have the social proof? Do you have credibility? Are you an established authority? There will still be plenty of places willing to pay you low rates for brand new freelancers. But the more proof you establish now, the better off you're going to be in the long run. People are increasingly freelancing by choice. So this is number 3. Asked whether they started freelancing more by choice or necessity, 63% of freelancers said by choice, up 10% from 53% since 2014. Now, I think this is important to note that we may be dealing with a lot of freelancers who are just doing this for side income. So you still have plenty of advantages if you're doing this for full-time income. The side income people aren't really on the platforms all that much. They're not doing this as their only job. And we know that because it's so hard to just entrepreneurship in general is hard. If you're freelancing, it's that much more of a challenge for you. With a traditional job, you have benefits, you have healthcare, you have oh my gosh, I'm losing my mind today. 401ks and different benefits like that are already done for you. With freelancing, you have to figure out your own taxes, your own healthcare, figure out how your own savings plan for yourself. So I think that a lot of people aren't really switched and doing this full time yet. I still think that's a ways off. But by 2027, I think we will see a big shift toward people doing more of this full time. Number 4, stability is being redefined. So freelancers increasingly think that having a diversified portfolio of clients is more secure than one employer. Well, I think that makes a lot of sense. It says 63% agree, up 10 points since 2016. And have an average of 4.5 clients per month. That makes sense, right? You're not going to put all your eggs in one basket. Why would you do that? Look at how many people have done that in traditional jobs. The company goes under, all those people get laid off. Or the company has a hardship, all those people get laid off. Now they're out of work. Now what can they do? They don't have any extra skills. They haven't been teaching themselves. It makes sense in the freelance market because you can work with multiple people and it helps you increase your own value. You can charge higher rates really fast because, hey, I'm working with 10 clients, I only have so much time and they all want a piece of it. So if you want to work with me, it's going to be a higher amount. And that's the way it is because supply and demand. Last one we got here is, while finances are a challenge for all, freelancers experience a unique concern: income predictability. Well, I think we just talked about that, but the study found that with the ebbs and flows of freelancing, full-time freelancers dip into savings more often, 63% at least once per month versus 20% of full-time non-freelancers. Makes total sense because, again, you're having to pay for different things. You don't have somebody covering your healthcare, you don't have someone covering your 401k, you don't have anyone covering those extra benefits or taxes or things that you normally wouldn't have to pay for on your own. So that part makes total sense to me. Anyway, I'm going to show you this graphic here. We can just kind of look at it real quick. It says 57.3 million people freelance. That's a lot. That's a lot, but it's not too bad. I think it's going to be way, way different in 2027. The majority of workers will freelance by 2027. So that's saying a majority. Like, I guess that would mean anything over halfway. Anything over halfway would be a majority of workers. So, but we can kind of see what they're predicting here. 6.5 million by 2027. Traditional workforce going down to 83.4 million. If I'm not misreading that, I don't know. It's kind of small print and my eyes are tired. But millennials are leading the way. 47% of millennial workers are freelancing. Freelancing is contributing an estimated $1.4 trillion annually in freelance earnings to our economy. I mean, that's just insane. Tech is enabling freelancing. That's going to happen more frequently because not only are we moving into a freelance-oriented workforce, we're seeing so much technology come into play that is making things easier. It's eliminating tasks, eliminating jobs. People are losing their jobs in different ways now than they've ever done before. And for that reason, they're turning to new places. If you have a journalist and that journalist can be somehow automated by a robot, then what is that journalist supposed to do? Well, he could turn to copywriting, blogging, or any other thing. I mean, maybe not blogging because that's going to be automated fairly quickly probably, but just saying he can go freelance and make up the difference. Don't call this the gig economy. That's interesting. What freelancers prefer calling this economy? Freelance economy, on-demand. So they want to call it the freelance economy. I'm not sure if I'm completely understanding this, but according to the infographic, they don't want to call it gigs. So it's being treated, what I'm gathering from this is that they're treating it as a new form of employment economy, freelance economy, or on-demand economy, not gigs, because what gigs implies, when we're talking linguistics, gigs is applying something temporary, short-term, small-time change income. I always like the word gigs over jobs because I don't like to make that association that this is a job. It's not, because you're a contractor technically, or you're a freelancer, whatever you want to call yourself. I do like the term freelance economy, but I'm not going to be applying to freelance economy like I'm applying to freelance economy? No, I'm applying to freelance gigs. So, is what it is. Anyway, let's look at the top drivers and barriers to freelancing. We've got the drivers are freedom, so people want more freedom. They want flexibility. They want to earn extra money. Makes sense. The barriers are income predictability, finding work, and benefits. And those are all three things that I mentioned up above. I hadn't even really looked that deeply into this, so that makes sense to me. Income predictability is probably going to be the number one for a long time. Well, benefits too. But income predictability, that kind of totally integrates with finding work. Because if you can't find work, then it's going to be hard to predict your income. The benefits thing, though, that's going to be a huge one for a long time because we've got such expensive healthcare in the United States that, and this is specifically targeted toward the United States, or at least it says America. So I guess what I'm saying is that benefits have gotten so expensive, at least in terms of healthcare, that I can see why that would be a huge barrier for people not wanting to go full-time right now. If that somehow gets worked out, or if companies maybe start to integrate a little bit more with freelancing and start offering some kind of benefits, gosh, I don't even know. The sky's the limit from there. We could see a whole completely different marketplace than what we see today. That will be an interesting thing that's going to happen over the next 10 years, and we'll have to watch it. Last one here says freelancers are preparing for the future. And I guess we already talked about that. It's just saying that we're looking toward where the world is going to be, not where it is today. If you look at people who are into the traditional workforce, they're looking at, this is the job I do, this is all I can think about. If I get fired today, I'm going to try and find another job doing the exact same thing I do right now. The challenge with that is, if you're in a field that's likely to get automated, that's going to be a real problem for you in 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, who knows? I don't know how long it's going to be before that happens. It's already happening in some fields. So it makes sense that freelancers are looking at the future. We're preparing for where the workforce is going. So yeah, what are my in thoughts on this, I guess. I want to know your thoughts. Like, what do you guys think about this? What do you make of it? Where do you see the freelance marketplace going? What are you worried about? Are you afraid that there's going to be too much competition, that there's going to be too many people trying to compete for the freelance jobs? You already know my take on that. I don't believe in competition. The only competition I have is myself. That's all there ever really has been for me. And I would even say, I would extend that out to the people who are in my chat server, who are in there talking to me daily and getting that direct feedback from each other and myself. These people are going to be ahead of the game. Many of you already are. You're already making progress in the ways that you want to do that. But let me know your thoughts about this report. Go check it out if you have time. Again, I'll drop the links down below. The chat link is down below. If you're new to this channel, go ahead and subscribe if you want more videos like this. Make sure you click the notification bell so you get my notifications. And drop me a line if you have any questions. That's all I got for this one. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Sinister Lex, and I will see you next time.